Every car gadget looks worth it for 5 minutes. Then it lives in your console, adds steps, and never becomes a habit. The real problem isn't the product. It's the fit check you never run. So in this list, every pick earns space by removing one recurring friction: proof, visibility, readiness, clean power, or faster decisions when the car throws a curveball. Welcome to CircuitPeek. Today's picks are all about practical wins. You're not shopping a category, you're matching a routine. So you stop collecting clutter and start keeping upgrades you actually use. Peek into what's next. That sounds simple, yet the fit check changes everything once you see it. VIOFO A329S 4K 60 FPS dash cam front and rear, front plus rear recording. VIOFO A329S 4K 60 FPS dash cam front and rear solves the quiet problem nobody plans for. Something happens fast and you have zero clean proof. The upgrade is workflow, front detail plus a real rear angle, then quick access so pulling a clip feels like a normal step, not a project. Mount it clean, set your recording habits, and you stop hoping the right moment got captured. The outcome is confidence. Incidents, close calls, and weird parking lot surprises turn into a file you can actually use, instead of a story you can't prove. Tlyard 10.88-inch head-up display for Tesla. Juniper 2025/2026 fixes the tiny time loss that adds up all day. Eyes leaving the road to hunt info on the center screen. Putting key data in a driver-facing spot turns glances into quick checks, not head turns and refocus cycles. The make-or-break detail you're focused on is whether it feels integrated, not bolted on. And that comes down to placement and a clean install. The outcome is calmer driving. Speed and core info stay where your eyes already go, so routine driving feels smoother and more controlled. Fanttik X10 Pro Tire Inflator Portable Air Compressor handles the friction nobody enjoys. Tire pressure maintenance that turns into a gas station chore. Presets and a clear display shift it from emergency tool to repeatable routine. Set the target, let it run, and stop guessing. Here's the negative frame. Ignoring PSI rarely feels dramatic today. Then it quietly drags comfort and wear for weeks. The outcome is consistency. You actually keep tires where you want them, so the car feels better day to day, and readiness improves without adding a complicated process. It feels like maintenance, yet it changes how every drive starts. Tukio Lucid Tag. Tracker tags for Apple Find My 4-pack solve the time theft problem. Keys vanish, a bag disappears, or you forget where you parked when you're moving fast. The win is behavioral. Find My keeps the tracking loop inside the system you already use, so checking becomes natural. Use it for keys, a travel bag, or gear you never want to lose. Then lean on last seen location and the audible find feature when you're close. The outcome is fewer dead-end searches and fewer rushed mornings, because recovery turns into a guided step instead of a guessing game. MSXTTLY Wireless CarPlay Adapter, U2C-AIR Pro, removes the most common daily CarPlay friction, the cable ritual for every short drive. Auto-Connect turns your routine into get in and go, so navigation and audio feel ready the moment the car starts. The question in your head right now is whether it stays stable on your normal commute. And that comes down to a clean first pairing and keeping old Bluetooth/Wi-Fi clutter out of the loop. The outcome is fewer steps and a cleaner console, because the connection becomes a habit you don't think about. You expect the big wins, but the tiny connection habit runs the show. Zigbee Wireless Vibration Sensor, 120 decibel alarm. Targets the earliest moment in a break-in pattern, movement and vibration before damage finishes the job. Mounted smart, console, compartment, underseat. It turns disturbance into a trigger, then a notification or deterrent chain through a Zigbee hub. Here's the negative frame. Security fails in layers, and one missing layer leaves you reacting late. Sensitivity tuning matters because false alarms kill trust. The outcome is earlier awareness and faster response signals, which raises your security baseline without pretending it replaces a full alarm system. Retractable Car Charger fixes the cable sprawl that makes a cabin feel messy and stressful. Retractable cables turn charging into a clean behavior. Pull what you need, retract what you don't, and keep the power points usable for driver and passenger. The key fit check is simple. This is power delivery, not data. So the win is organization and reliable device charging, not CarPlay or file transfer. The outcome is a calmer cockpit on commutes and trips, because charging stops looking like a tangle you fight every day. Quick reset. This is the fit check that keeps you from wasting money and space. Match the upgrade to the friction you hit weekly, not the feature you like in the listing. Recording solves what happened. Displays solve where do I look. Readiness solves what now. And clean power solves why is this always a mess. When you watch the rest, pick one category you actually feel in your routine and let that drive your choice, not hype. What's the one friction point in your setup you want fixed next? That sounds straightforward, but the next picks shift from nice to non-negotiable fast. AstroAI S8 Air Jumpstarter with Air Compressor solves two problems that ruin a day: a battery that refuses to crank, and a tire that drops PSI when you least expect it. 1 unit for jumpstart plus inflation means your response is immediate. Clamps for the start, then PSI support before you roll out. The fit check is trunk readiness, storage spot, access, and keeping it charged so it's ready when the moment hits. The outcome is fewer stranded situations and less hesitation, because you're equipped to restore the basics, start and pressure, on the spot. REDTIGER F17 K3 Channel Dash Cam handles the coverage gap that ruins evidence. You record one angle, and the real story happened somewhere else. 3 channels give you context: front, rear, and cabin. So incidents and parking lot chaos don't turn into missing angle frustration. Here's the negative frame. Partial footage creates more arguments, not fewer. Install and routing matter, because extra cameras demand cleaner placement. The outcome is higher confidence in your record, especially for busy lots, family cars, and any situation where context matters more than one single view. VDIAGTOOL VD10 OBD2. Scanner code reader turns the check engine moment from anxiety into a decision path. Plug in, read the codes, capture freeze frame details, and you get information you can act on before you clear anything. The make or break detail you're focused on is whether it supports a clean workflow, read, note, verify, rather than random button mashing. The outcome is faster triage. You stop guessing, stop chasing the wrong fix, and you walk into the next step with real context. That sounds technical, yet it saves time the moment a light shows up. Sudden 85-watt retractable car charger solves the everyone needs power problem without turning the cabin into a cord nest. With retractable cables plus extra ports, it supports multi-device routines, driver navigation, passenger phone, and a second device, while keeping the footprint compact. The fit check is clarity. This is charging only. So the win is dependable power distribution and tidy cable behavior. The outcome is fewer arguments over ports and fewer dead battery surprises, because charging becomes structured instead of chaotic. OlarHike Cordless Tire Inflator, 150 psi, dual power, removes the barrier that stops people from maintaining tire pressure. Inconvenience. Dual power options and a simple target PSI workflow make top-offs feel like a normal prep step, not a special trip. This is the fit check. When you keep it charged and accessible, you actually use it, and consistency beats heroic emergency moments. The outcome is smoother driving and better readiness, because seasonal swings and slow leaks stop sneaking up on you. It looks simple, but the repeatable PSI routine keeps stacking wins. Miracase Air Vent Phone Holder solves the small safety friction of unstable navigation, phone sliding, bouncing, and pulling your attention. A secure hook-style grip keeps the phone steady so directions stay readable, and docking feels like one clean motion instead of a two-hand juggle. The question in your head right now is whether your vents can handle it, and the answer comes from placement. Choose a vent position that preserves airflow and stability. The outcome is calmer driving, because your navigation stays where you expect it, even on rough roads. TECXERLLON 10.26 inches portable Apple CarPlay Screen with 4K dashcam plus backup cam upgrades an older car routine without committing to a head unit swap. The portable screen brings a modern interface, adds recording, and supports reversing visibility in one stack, so your daily workflow levels up fast. The make or break detail you're focused on is mounting and cable routing, because a messy install kills the experience. The outcome is an expectation break, a reversible, modern, screen plus cameras upgrade that feels like a system, not a hack, when the install stays clean. LISEN 90-watt USB-C car charger fixes the power bottleneck that shows up the moment you run navigation, music, and passenger charging together. A compact, higher output adapter supports modern USB-C routines, so your devices stay topped up without constant port swapping. The fit check is simple. Pair it with good cables and treat power as part of your setup, not an afterthought. The outcome is fewer low battery interruptions and a cleaner daily rhythm, because your car's charging stops feeling like a limitation you manage every trip. Here's the real win. You don't need more gadgets. You need fewer upgrades that actually fit your routine. Run the fit check from this list. Remove one recurring friction, keep the setup clean, and make the behavior repeatable after week 1. When this helped, tap like, leave a comment, and subscribe for more car gadget breakdowns. Links in the description. Support the channel through affiliate tracking. Which product surprised you most and why? Then check the links in the description if you want to look any of these up. Stop doing the things the hard way. Peek into what's next. Want to see more? Check out the video on the left, or check out the playlist on the right.